Hey guys, Angie Thomas of the Thomas Family Hustle 205. Thank you so much for joining us again today. I want to go through with you guys some really cool finds we made this weekend at an estate sale. But before we get started, I want to please ask you to like this video, to subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you can be notified each and every time we post new information to share with you guys. So we went to a big estate sale. First, I want to note to you networking can be super beneficial. I'm down here in the South, and there's the whole concept of Southern hospitality. Not everyone has it. I'm going to be honest with you. Nor am I a Southerner traditionally. I was not born and raised here, but it is one of those things you pick up as you go. And you just have a tendency to at least speak to everybody, or I do. It drives people in my family crazy, but point is, as we were cashing out at this particular estate sale, which was massive, and I'll get to that in a minute, we happened to speak with a gentleman who we recognized from working previous estate sales that we had been to, asking him where he's going to be over the next couple of weeks so that we can have some insider information and start kind of planning our routes based on where he's at. Because, again, we've been at a lot of his different sales. We have made some really great scores. So I would recommend networking. And also, a couple of the people that we saw at the sale were people that we have seen before in our travels, and spoke with a few of them about some things that we had found there at that particular location, as well as some upcoming events. So I'm going to strongly recommend that you open that mouth, say some kind words, and network in with folks the best that you can. So, the place that we went to this weekend, wow, just guys, it was huge. This is what I would better refer to as a picker's paradise. It was crazy. So there was the two-story house plus garage, full. I cannot, unless you saw it, I cannot express this appropriately enough for you guys. There were at least two, maybe three outbuildings out back. One was like little house on the prairie type size house. I mean, like, guys, everything was full of awesome stuff, old stuff. As we went through things, maybe four or five items into the sale that had caught our eye that we were looking at specifically, happened to see a lot of things had stickers on them, to where it led me to believe that the person that lived at this residence or stored their products at this residence, I'm not really clear on that part, had some affiliation with an antique shop or antique mall or something of that sort, which was like, yes, this is the holy grail. So I looked out, I found lots of random neat things, and I only spent 25 bucks. I want to show you what I got so you know what 25 bucks looks like. And again, this is not typical for the kind of pricing for this particular estate sale company. However, again, I reiterate to you, this location was packed full of stuff, and they got to get it gone. So he was willing to wheel and deal on anything that was not specifically priced. So here's what we got. First, I have to tell you, I took a baking class way back when, and ever since I have really enjoyed baking. If I can do it with my kids, great. So this happened to catch my eye. I know that Wilton cake pans actually have this wonderful little engraving on each and every one of their cake pans, and it calls out the year. This one is Big Bird. I'd like to think that he's maybe building with blocks, a base block and a block that he's putting up on top. I could be wrong. I have to find a color picture to confirm this. It actually says Big Bird, 1971, 1978. And then it says something that kind of caught my attention. Muppets, Inc. Guys, I know that you know your basic information. When I think of Muppets, I think of Jim Henson, and I think of Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. I do not, however, think of any of the Sesame Street crew. So that really caught my attention. I'm going to do a little bit of research on that. Again, I had no idea that at any point any of the Sesame Street characters were affiliated with Muppets or Jim Henson or any of that whole thing. So I'm going to look into that a little bit better, but obviously knowing that this is from 71 or 78, and it clearly was not used, it's been pre-owned, but it has not been used, or it has been sparingly used. So it's in great condition, especially for its age. It was a definite keeper for me. Next, Pocahontas lunchbox. Who remembers these? I remember these. So, good condition as far as the picture. You know, some mild scratches. If you tilt it just right, you'll see the scratches. But all in all, really good condition. Still latches, has the handle, it functions. There is, however, some writing. Hey, Sarah Strickland, if you're out there, hey. We'll use some rubbing alcohol or nail polish remover to work at that and see if we can't get rid of some of the marker on the inside. I do not know the comps of any of the items I ended up purchasing. I have not had the time yet to research them. We just got it yesterday. It's been a busy day. I haven't looked anything up yet, but I do know that there's a lot of collectors for the lunch boxes. I don't know that this is one of them, but can't hurt. Didn't pay much. All right. Fisher Price, clearly an old version of the xylophone on wheels, and I thought this was the pull behind. It was suggested, and again, haven't researched yet, don't know, that this was attached to the mallet that you would use on the xylophone. But I do remember a version of this where you would pull it behind you. I don't know who's right and who's wrong until I research it. But I happen to see here, it says 1964 to 1978 Fisher Price toys. So I'm going to say this is a late 70s toy, which all considering is in pretty fair condition. Okay, so who remembers somewhere in the 90s, I'm not going to pinpoint that for you, I'm going to leave that to guess, the rhinestone and stud setter. No, this is clearly, I can tell by the print itself, this is not from the 90s. However, I do recall in the 90s having a version of this in either pink or purple or the combination of the two. A little stud machine where you could go to like Joanne Fabric and you get a blank hat, shirt, jacket, jean jacket, whatever, and you could embellish it. You could put a little flower, you could put an initial, whatever. This totally caught my eye because this is a much older version of the same exact thing, which I found really cool. It actually still says patent pending. It's an as seen on TV. It's by Ronco. Now, I've lived a few late nights. I have had background noise on before, and I know that Ronco does a lot of infomercials. I think of like the Ronco air fryer and things of that sort. So the as seen on TV and the Ronco thing totally fit for me. But again, what really caught my attention was the patent pending. Means that this was one of the earlier versions of this. I happened to flip it over. It says 1974 Ronco, and that kind of fits with the styling of the print and the product and just in general. So I did pick this up. I have not been through it yet to confirm that all of the pieces are there. I do know that the stud gun is there and a few of these smaller pieces that it calls out on the back. I would like to think something from 1974, as long as it has the vast majority of its pieces, is going to be collectible, but I don't know because again I have not researched this yet. Here's another one. This caught my eye. Just naturally caught my eye. It's a box. Love box goods. A lot of times box goods have a UPC on there, a barcode that you can scan and you can check it right out quick, fast, and in a hurry on your eBay app to see what the comps are. So I tend to pick up boxes, especially if they look a little more eclectic or unique like this one. This having, as it states in Indian, but I believe the politically correct term right now would be a Native American on the box, caught my attention. I grew up in an area where there's a lot of rich Native American history, so it was catching to me. This is the beadcraft outfit. It references Boy Scouts of America, which is kind of interesting. Can't say that I've ever seen anything like that. This is actually, if you know much about some of the Native American history and art and tapestries, this is sort of a beading kit. The pictures are really cool, showing you some different examples, designs, and variations. Appears maybe a keychain here. Some of these would be like a bracelet. This one looks like it's got maybe some ties to where you could tie it into the appropriate size for you. I could be wrong. It does call out belts, girdles, hats, hat bands, and necklaces. So the product itself is really neat. And honestly, the only things in this box, I am missing pieces and I get that, are the instruction booklet with the design options and then the bead loom. Yes, I said that correctly, bead loom. And when I think of loom anymore in today's day and age, I think of that silly rainbow loom. I'm sure you've seen it with those little rubber bands that are colored that look like they're supposed to be for your braces and all that. It's a similar concept. I don't know how it works. I'm really curious. I do see the maybe thumbtack looking item here, peg here, to where it perhaps holds something and you would stretch it this way. I'm not really entirely sure. Really intrigued to find out more. Don't know the comps. Again, it does not have everything in it, and I know that. Doesn't offend me personally. I still think that it's a really cool find, and that somebody will probably find it equally as cool as I did. So, alright. I don't really do a lot of tins. However, I do Disney. I know that the print alone and the style of this Mickey Mouse is an older style, and I'm not sure that I can really explain that, but if you've seen enough Mickey Mouse images, especially more modern, more current Mickey Mouse images, I think it's maybe the rose coloring on the cheeks and the nose, but this is identifiable by my eye as an older version of Mickey Mouse. This used to house delicious candy inside, which is great. I'm sure we've all seen these around Christmas time. I flipped it over. I was really curious. This is made in England, exclusively for the American Candy Manufacturing Company in Selma, Alabama. Hey, Alabama represent. What? This is a collector's edition volume 1. That brought my attention to it, and I said I had to have it. I'm not a collector of tins. Not something I know too much about. However, when it says collector's edition and it says volume 1, I found the very first edition of this. And it states Walt Disney product, just like it states it here, Walt Disney production. I knew that this was a keeper. There are people that collect them. All in all, it's in good condition. There's a little scratching at the top, and then there's some funk, so we're going to magic erase it and see what we can do with it. But I think that'll be a nice little collector piece for somebody. This was a little stroll down memory lane. Apparently, these were McDonald's collector cups. I would assume, being glass, that you probably paid extra for it. I'm just thinking. I'm just, using my numbers and my brain and my knowledge, but I'm thinking. However, I remember having a couple sets of these McDonald's Garfield cups in my home growing up. So this was a really super cool find for me. I grew up on Garfield. I think that Garfield is the bee's knees, if you will. This is labeled as 1978. So I was desperately seeking more of these. I was really hoping for like a set of 4 or something. Or anything, just more than one. I just wanted more than one. But I couldn't find them. We searched the house, and guys, I cannot stress you, this house was bursting at the seams. Like, there were rooms in this home that were hoarder-ish to the point where you were physically taking a risk making your way across a room, if that makes sense. There was just stuff everywhere, and it was very hard to maneuver. But we did search high, low, and everywhere in between. We went to the kitchen, we went through the cabinets, we went through everything under the sun, and we could not find them. So either they only had one, or someone the day before when the sale first opened, and I was at the softball field, found the rest of them. I don't know which way it went. Hurts my heart, but I still feel like somebody will pay for this being just one. Perhaps they have a collection that started and this will complete it. I'm not sure, but 1978 Garfield cup from McDonald's. Why not? Super wild, okay? I am not typically a lamp person, but this one is very clearly a sort of Old English or Victorian style. It's in good condition. There's maybe a little browning on her nose. I have not wiped it down. I don't know if that will come off or not. But overall, very nice piece. Almost looks maybe custom painted, I would think, but I could be wrong. And then, as I mentioned, this person clearly was representative of, affiliated with, owned, I'm not sure, something with antiques. There's a little label here on the side that references that this is a some kind of a gentleman something lamp shade, or it's very difficult to read. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's very old. But they had this price at $62.50. Obviously, I do not have a lamp shade. I have not tested this yet. Again, just getting this stuff in and getting through it today. But I am really curious. I mean, it still has the plug. The cord is fully intact. There's no reason it shouldn't work. And realistically, I could tell just by the plug alone that this was a much older piece. Obviously, it's implied by looking at the design of it. But I am really curious to test it out and see what we got. Completely random. I really don't have any explanation for you. Like none. I have zero. It's nice. It's cute. There's nothing on the bottom. It's some kind of a porcelain inside, it looks like. It's that glossy finish. Appears silver on the outside. I don't know. I don't have any information for you. I don't have any reason for you. Found it, saw it, linked it onto my pinky as I was digging through some area, and it just made it to the final pile with me. I don't know. We'll find out more. Equally a cool find. This is it's old, y'all. Little Giant Webster Dictionary Self-Pronouncing. Fancy. So, this is the Vest Pocket Webster Dictionary. However, not just a dictionary, guys. Wait for it. Here's the Dictionary of Military and Naval Terms. Hold on, I'm not done yet. You've got Dictionary of Forms of Address. Wait, hold on, quit getting antsy. Population of the principal cities of the United States. Here is the first place where I could begin to gauge the age of this. This is based off of the census of 1940. Say again, the census of 1940. Therefore implying to me that this book is somewhere mid-40s-ish, maybe as late as 50s. I'm really not completely confident on how often the census was performed back in that time frame. Obviously, record keeping is, difficult as time went on. I'm trying to see if I can get into the front page of this thing without causing a problem, and I can't. But super cool. No real reason. I'm sure there's going to be a collector out there. I hope. We're all hopeful of that kind of thing. But just really caught my eye because it was so little and so cute. I remember those shirts the men used to wear. My dad always had one of those little pocket shirts and would keep his business cards and stuff in there. Just thought it was cool. Caught my eye. Like, that's all of this is. Caught my eye. Here's one for you. Okay? Cool. It's got sort of that crackled look in the white. I don't think that you can really tell that on a camera, but it's got a very crackled look in the background. Clearly some kind of a teapot kettle type thing. It's got the hole here. It's even got that really neat locking lid. You can see it's got two spots there and in the lip here. What caught my attention is the fact that, oh, hey, plugs. I don't know for what. I kind of know for what. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just lied to you. I'm so sorry. There's a heating element in there. Clearly some kind of a teapot. Very old. Very, very old. That is not something that we operate off of anymore. I wish there was more information beyond just the 120 volt, 350 watt data at the bottom of this. I do not have a cord to test this, unfortunately, but can't beat a super cool find. It's in great condition. There's some old stickiness from an old sticker. I'm sure we can deal with that. Okay, so I know. $25 is all I spent. I still have more to show you. Check this. Bicentennial piece, 1776-1976. This is representative of the great state of Alabama. On the back, it states, the great state of Alabama salutes the United States on the occasion of the bicentennial. This is a liquor, how do they word this? A liquor bottle. It is genuine porcelain. It does have the various flags here on the front. Personally, I've never heard or seen this one as the American Revolution Bicentennial 1776 and 1976 flag. That is a unique one. That's very different from me. I'm not going to lie to you. The label up here on the top, that is, yep, indicative of the type of liquor that was in it to begin with. To me, the print and styling of that looks very Jim Beam, but don't quote me on that. It's not the same brand name. Perhaps it was a predecessor. I don't really know the history. That's beyond me, guys. It does have a little label. As I mentioned, she's got a lot of these things that were labeled. It's feminine writing, I'm assuming here. I could be wrong. But this particular bottle, they had listed years and years ago at $65. Cool piece. Has actually a label here on the side from the Alcohol Control Board with some digits there. Haven't done the research, don't know too much about it, but super cool piece. And it has the cap on. I mean, like, it's all there. It's all together. All right, last little bit of stuff. I don't know anything about plates. Glass collector plates. Don't know anything about them. Surely do not know how to ship them safely. If you guys have tips, pointers, information, suggestion on shipping super breakable stuff, I'm desperate for you to put some comments down below. I would take any help that you can offer me. Here's a few of the plates. I'm going to go through them kind of quickly. There's several of them. Well, there's a few of them that are specific to the greater Birmingham, Alabama area. So I'm not sure how popular they'll be, but they were cool. They caught my eye. Here we go. Bicentennial plate. Nothing at all on the bottom as far as, age, company. Obviously, the age is going to be relative to 1976. I'm not completely out of my mind yet, guys, but it does not give me a company that made it or any other detail that you would typically find at the bottom of the plate. This lady had this one posted for $25. Who knows what it'll go for, but it's a cool collector piece. Another one for you. This is the First Presbyterian Church from 1832 in, wait for it, Rising Sun, Indiana. The outside of it, the outside edge, is actually a 1969 calendar. The label here says Plate of 1832 Presbyterian Church of Indiana, calendar plate, 1969. There's a picture of the seminary and, of course, the worship hall or the church itself, however their particular religion might refer to it as. Really cool piece. It does have a little bit more history on the back about the Indian Teachers Seminary. Really cool information. So I'm hopeful that somebody catches their eye. Somebody puts their eye on this and allows it to catch their eye. How about that? Just a cool piece. Lots of these. I got several plates. They were really cool. And again, he gave us a bundle deal. Can't beat it. This one, Pennsylvania. I don't know if these folks traveled a lot or if these things all came to them over the years. I'm not really clear on that. But this is specific to the Highland United Presbyterian Church, the Highland at Park Avenue in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. I do not know the year, however, based off of this cool timeline on the back that references, which is super cool, actually references many of the parties that were involved in the church, like the ministers, the missionaries that they sent to Egypt, things of that sort. I am going to guesstimate that this plate is from around 1953. This does reference the church history. The church was organized October 26, 1904 with 64 charter members. In 1953, only 10 of these remain. Crazy, dude. Crazy. Really cool piece of history. And I've got lots of them. This is the Little Chapel of the Roses, Glen Abbey in Chula Vista, California. I don't know if we have a year. No. I do not, but it's really, really cool. I love, they've got like a seal or a fancy little design at the top of the plate. It's got the really pretty flowers around the outside edge. Really nice plate. She's got a label in here that says the Little Chapel of Roses, Glen Abbey Park, Chula Vista, California. She had this posted at $42. Um, Again, just cool history piece. I'm curious to find out more as we get some research under our belt. Here's another one. Bellengrath Gardens and Homes. This is near Mobile, and it even calls it out, which is kind of funny. In Theodore, Alabama. I have heard of this. I have not been. I have not seen it. I do not know more about it. Nothing on the bottom as far as the year, manufacturer, anything else. So I'm going to have to do a little research. It does have that nice little gold edging, if you will, stripe around the outside edge there. So we'll have to take a look, see what we can find there. Two more, guys. Almost done. All right, again, another Birmingham, Alabama area plate. This is the Macedonia Baptist Church. This is most likely also around that 1953 time frame. It appears perhaps the minister or pastor, reverend is how they referred to him, perhaps is pictured up here. It goes on to tell really cool history. I love history that I can see, touch, feel. I am not a read it and imagine it. I am a see, touch, feel kind of history person. It's how I do the best with it. It's just what it is. We all learn and enjoy things differently. I love to see, touch, and feel. So this is going back to 1898 all the way to 1953, telling you a little bit about the building itself, when it was constructed, when they tweaked it, edited it, etc., etc. Cool piece. Last one. All right. Andrew Johnson souvenir plate from Greenville, Tennessee. Kind of cool. It's sort of got that crackled thing happening with the white, but really detail oriented. This one, no year is referenced. Old English Staffordshire ware. John Roth, England. This is imported for the Andrew Johnson Taylor Shop Memorial in Greenville, Tennessee. I don't know, guys. Again, we'll have to do some research, but I love the detail. It's just a cool plate. I had to get it. So, all the things that you saw here, $25. It was a steal of a deal. Couldn't pass it up. Couldn't do it again if I tried, I'm sure. There was so much we didn't get to pick up or even look at. It was so crazy full, but it was an awesome time. To any of you that are where I was once, the idea of an estate sale sometimes can be mildly unsettling. The idea of going through somebody else's home and property, but the way I've had to settle into that idea is that someone clearly did not want these belongings. Any family members or others no longer wanted these items. I would rather someone be able to collect them and enjoy them, because once you die, it doesn't mean that you get to take everything with you. It's just, that's life. So I'm so glad that there are estate sales that allow us the opportunity to see, touch, and feel history by seeing all these really cool things. So check out estate sales. Don't be afraid of them. Network while you're there with both the customers as well as the folks running it. Don't be afraid of it. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Please don't forget to hit the like button. I hope you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your post notifications so you know each time that we post new information. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.